Good morning. Happy Friday. Wait, is it Friday? Let's see. Yes, it is Friday. Okay. It's confusing because I keep thinking that it's already the weekend. I don't know why, but I do. So it's not yet, but that's good because it just will mean this like holiday weekend will seem even longer, I suppose. So we'll just wait a few minutes like we normally do. You can just sit and breathe and just kind of get um, settled. So just breathing and being still. So this weekend is Independence Day, which is it's a kind of a funny year and a kind of a weird year. And I think it's very interesting that all of this should be kind of culminating around Independence Day. I think, as Americans, we're very proud of our independence. We're very, it's a very big thing, right? That idea of self determination and self sufficiency, right? There's that, if it may be kind of a myth, right? But that idea of, the pioneer, um, I mean, not really a myth, I guess, but maybe the way we look at it seems a little mythical. We are all about um, we're all about the self sufficiency and the being on our own, but we forget about the community that went behind that, right? The that inner dependence, right? So in yoga, I would say we are more interested in the interdependence than the independence. So there really isn't one without the other. We want to be independent. We think we are. But if you look a little deeper, we're usually pretty interdependent with the people around us. And um, one thing I think we've forgotten a little is how important that has been over history. And that it's only kind of recently that we've kind of sort of discarded that, right? People have begun moving far away from home. Um, there isn't that kind of strong family structure in a lot of cases that there used to be. Um, and that can lead to that, feeling of being out in the wilderness by yourself, the pioneer. You may find that, you have that feeling a lot, especially, if you're traveling down a yoga path and you don't have anybody around you who's also interested in it or also kind of working that path, you may feel very alone. Um, so it's important to, touch in with people who are like minded, right? Find a group. Um, so yoga studios and yoga groups usually, exist in kind of a larger structure. Um, and um, what we call that is kula, right? So a group of a yoga class, a yoga group would be called a kula, which means something like family, but not exactly family. But they're people that are kind of on the same path. We're kind of heading in the same direction. Um, and we can give each other support and help, even if it's just moral support, right? Just knowing that we're kind of all in the same boat here. So the other kind of curious thing about Independence Day, right? And we're rethinking, some of our heroes, right? Some of our the people that we look up to, the people that we build statues to. I think people are kind of rethinking what is that about, and this idea that can we appreciate someone for the good that they do, despite the evil they may have done, right? And that's a pretty complicated question. So we all kind of have to work that out for ourselves, how we feel about that. Life isn't black and white. We know this, right? There are all shades of gray, and we need to, um, again, look within ourselves and see what is true. Um, I think that this idea that we make a mistake when we allow people the benefit of history. So we say, well, things were different back then. That was what people did. Well, that may be true. Many people did do that, but there are also many people who didn't do those things. Just as now, there are many people who choose to live their way in um, doing things which are harmful to others, which take advantage of others. And there are people that choose to shun those things, to try for something better. So throughout history, there have always been good and bad. Um, I'm sorry to hear that, Deb. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I've had a lot of trouble sleeping the past few nights too. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I just keep dragging myself into the yoga room, and here I am. Um, so I would say when you're going through these things on your own, don't let people off easy, right? It's hard to do the right thing. It's really hard to do the right thing against public opinion, against your culture and your society. But that may be the most important time of all to do the right thing. So, yeah, um, don't let people off too easy. That's what I would say. You know how hard it is. If you've been trying to do the right thing, follow the yamas, follow niyamas, it's hard, right? Um, the temptation is always to step off that path. So don't excuse people who chose to do that for whatever reason. Um, we don't we don't maybe condemn them either, but we don't normalize it. We don't say that's okay. Um, we say it's hard. And we're all human. That's maybe the most important thing of all, is knowing that everyone has the light and the dark. The action of feeding that dark is not great, and the results are very poor. Right? When we focus on that, when we give into our darker impulses, our greedy and selfish impulses, the results are bad. They're bad for us, they're bad for everyone around us. But we all have it. There's nothing inherently more evil about one person than the other. Which, it makes things, again, like a little more complicated. So it would be great if we could just point to someone and say, well, that person is bad, right? This person is good. It's not like that. We are all good and we're all evil. We all have all of these things within us. So the interesting thing, though, is how do we exercise that, right? We have two options in any case, right? The good choice and the bad choice. Which one are we going to pick? Every time, right? Every choice. We're not going to always make the right call. Nobody is. But you just want, more good than bad. And keep working at it. And we can see this through history, right? Where people have gone down a bad path and then maybe thought better of it, maybe changed, their thinking, changed, and kind of got back on the path, trying to change how they were thinking. We have to respect that, right? We have to, acknowledge that people do change. People's ideas and beliefs can change. People today, right, who are going down the wrong path, who are doing things that are harmful to other people, oppressing other people, hurting other people. Those people too could change. They could choose to do something different. So in one sense, right, that makes it all the more, we can't excuse someone. We can't say, well, they didn't know any better. You could say they don't know any better, but you could say that's not just the way they are. No, not everybody isn't that way. They choose to be that way. So they could choose better. We just have hope that more people over time will choose better. And with yoga, our belief, right, is action. And our action in doing the right thing, doing the better thing, will be an example to other people. That action has ripples and they will spread. And then if enough people have those actions, the ripples join and it becomes a wave, a tidal wave of good. I think we're seeing some of that, right? We're seeing some change in the shift of what we might call collective consciousness. So we don't think things that we kind of didn't know, well, that's just how it is. We're just going to accept it, right? This is how the world is. We aren't doing that anymore. And I think, if anything, that we could look to the pandemic in gratitude is, I think, that idea that things can change. We found out things can change very quickly, maybe when we don't want them to. But the flip side of that is things could also change positively very quickly if we wanted them to. So I think understanding that and knowing that we have this source of personal power, join that with a bunch of other people, and it becomes a serious thing. So I hope, going forward from Independence Day, that we might, as a country, take that power that we have and um, turn it into something that reflects what we believe, not what we put up with, not what we've accepted has to be. Um, we want uh, we want our government, we want our society to be a reflection of what we believe, and it can't do that unless we all kind of do something to get there. So, happy almost Independence Day. All right. So let's do some asana. Breathing a little more as you relax the shoulders sitting upright. Take one more breath. Chin down toward the chest. And then moving your head around. Big circle. One way and the other. Back to center. Take a breath. Lean forward. And moving around. One way and then the other. Back up to your seat. Arms wide. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands together. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the arms, gazing up. Arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Let's lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind you. Sit up tall. Take a breath in and a twist. Back to center, switch sides. And back to center. Tabletop. Let's sit back on the heels. Child's pose. And we're going to do rabbit here. So I'm going to tell you what to do because if I show you, I won't be able to talk. So for rabbit, we're going to have knees close together. Arms are back by your side. Reaching back for the sides of the feet or the ankles, whatever you can reach. You could tuck the fingers under if you want. You just want to have something here to kind of hold on to. And then we're tucking the chin so that the crown of the head is resting lightly on the mat. Once you get in that position, you can start lifting up the hips so that you're putting a little weight on the top of the head, but not too much, right? If you start to feel like it's very heavy up there, just back up. Put yourself back down toward the heels. And then coming back up, bring the knees a little wider maybe, and then we're going to stack fists, rest the forehead down. Coming back up, tabletop. Let's extend right leg back. And then left leg. Moving from tabletop to downward dog. Bicycle it out a little. Move around however you want. And then step the feet up to the hands. We'll be in a fold. Breathe and relax. Then rising slowly. Standing tall on your mountain, breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Drop your knee. Arms overhead. Hands to the mat, moving back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And lower down. Inhale, lift head and chest. And lower. Lift on the inhale. Lower. Once more, either lifting up head and chest, or you could come up to upward dog. Then moving back to downward dog. Take one more breath. And then right foot steps up. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Step up with the back foot and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lift on your inhale, arms overhead. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, moving back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Then lower. Lifting on the inhale. Lowering. One more. Lifting on the inhale. Or maybe all the way up. Moving back to downward dog. One more deep breath. Then left foot steps up. Drop the right, arms overhead. And hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting as you inhale. And then coming back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're going to step back with the left. Press down with both feet. Rising up. Warrior one. One more breath. Then move to warrior two. Right arm out in front, left arm behind, shoulders relaxed. Steady breath. Inhale, flip the palm on the right, lift it high. Take one more breath. On the exhale, right arm comes down, maybe rest it on the leg. Pull that left shoulder back. Left arm lifts. Moving back up. Warrior two, just for a breath. And then we'll drop the hands, straighten the knee, turn the foot. So we're facing the side of the mat. Hands at the waist or the hips, shoulders back. Take a deep breath. And then lean forward. So you could bring your hands down, the legs onto the mat or the floor, whatever you want to do. And then hands back to the waist. Engage the thighs using leg strength to help lift you. Take a breath. And then we're turning to face the front. Got the left leg behind, right leg out. Not so wide stance here. Hands behind. Interlace the fingers, shoulders back. Deep breath. Then fold. So let's keep the hands behind. We're just going to lift up about halfway. Shift the weight onto that right side. And then you can experiment with lifting up the back leg. So you might just lift it a little bit. Right? You can always touch back down if you need. Just see. How steady do you feel today? Maybe pretty steady, maybe not steady at all. So just take your time with it and experiment. And then just set the foot back down. We're going to step back foot up to the front, arms overhead. Coming back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Press down with both feet. Coming into warrior one. Moving then, warrior two. Left arm extends out, right arm behind. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale, flip the left hand, lift up, right arm by your side. One more breath. Bring the left arm down. You can rest it on the thigh. Shoulder, right shoulder comes back. Right arm lifts. You gaze up at the hand or down at the foot. Then rising back up. Warrior two. Hands by your side. Straighten the knee and turn your foot. So we're facing this side again. Let's bring the hands to the waist and then we're going to rotate the hands back. Squeezing the shoulders back. Deep breath. And fold. Coming back up and release the hands down. Flip the shoulders back a little bit. And then step the feet in. So you're about shoulder width or so. Hands together, deep breath. And then bend the knees and lower down. Keep breathing. And then back up. Hands by your side. Turning so we face the front. Left leg is out, right leg behind. Interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulders back. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. And then we're going to leave the hands behind. Lift up about halfway. We're shifting the weight over that left foot. And then experiment with lifting up the right. All right, one side may be easier than the other. So if you step out, just try again. Don't worry too much about it, right? We take our balance seriously. We really don't need to. We're just doing what we can today, seeing where we are today. And then set the foot back down. Back foot steps to the front, arms overhead. And back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're moving back to downward dog. Inhale forward to high plank. Hold here for a breath. And then lower down. Head turns to the right. Arms by your side. So a good way to modify that would be, let's say you aren't feeling that great today. So maybe you don't hold it for a breath. Maybe you just go all the way down. Or maybe you're feeling super strong today, super fit. Maybe you hold it for 3 breaths and then lower down. So every day, every time we come to the mat, we get the choice. Add a little more, take a little away. Whatever your body needs for the day. Bring the head to center. We're going to start lifting up the head and chest. Hands are flipped so the palms are resting on the mat. We're going to lift the hands and the legs. So everything comes up. Lower down. Head turns left. Relax. Bringing your head back to center. Let's extend both arms out in front. And then we're going to roll. Well, I'm going to roll onto the left, but you could choose whichever side you want so that you're still facing the screen if you want to see what we're doing. And then we're going to try to sort of balance on this side. So you could keep the arm extended long if it's more comfortable to have your elbow sort of bent so that your head's propped up. That's fine. We're bending this top knee. And we're going to extend the leg. So you might kind of have a hold of the leg. I'm having trouble balancing already. Or the thigh, partially, extending. If you do have more flexibility here, you could try grabbing a hold of the toe to extend. And then we are just trying to kind of hold this place, hold this balance. If you're having a really hard time with this, maybe bend this bottom leg so you have a little kickstand behind you. It will keep you more stable. And then bend the knee. We're going to roll onto the belly again. This time onto the other side. And the same thing, right? Bending the knee, finding whatever sort of works for you in terms of balance. And then bend the knee, roll back onto your belly. Take a few breaths, just relaxing. Maybe bring the feet a little wider on the mat. And then we're moving up to tabletop. Child's pose. Tabletop. Downward dog. Walk the feet up. Coming down to a seat. Soles of the feet together. Take a moment to kind of pull the shoulders back. Sitting nice and tall. And then we are leaning forward. Hinging from the hips. Looking for our edge. today, our soft edges. Moving back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath, and then folding on the exhale. Moving back up, bend the knees, soles of feet to the mat. And then lowering down. Getting comfortable here on the mat. Breathe. Bend the right knee. We're going to bring right ankle on top of the left knee. And then either stay here or bring that left leg in closer to the body. Keep breathing. Set the foot back down. We're going to keep the right ankle on top of the knee. Goalpost arms or arms out to a T. So we're going to keep the shoulders where they are and start lowering the left knee and that right foot all together over to the side. Moving back up. Switch sides. And then finding your pose on this side. Rest that right foot down. Keep the left leg where it is, and then we're lowering over to the side. And then moving everything back to center. We're going to bring soles of the feet to the mat, getting ready for bridge. So walking heels back close to the body. Hands are pressing down on the mat by your side. And then we're going to start lifting up the hips. And breathe. Lowering down. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Take a few breaths. Relax. And then bringing the knees back to center. Bring them into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Extending the legs straight up. Hands by your side and then lowering down. Resting comfortably on your mat for Shavasana. Keep that breath moving through the body. As thoughts arise, let them go. So in yoga, we are I want to say told, but even more than told, right? We are entreated, right? We are begged, if it will, to see what's real, to look for the truth in all situations. It doesn't matter if that truth may feel painful at the time. it doesn't matter if that reality is very different than what everyone else believes or what you've been told maybe your whole life. We see everything through our own set of glasses. Okay? Our glasses are made up of our experiences, what we've been told, what we've seen, things that have happened to us. All of these things distort reality. We see what we are, we see what we have been. And the only way to really see what is true is to discard those things. So we set aside our beliefs, our prejudices, our, you know, our knowledge, right? What we think we know. And we look at what is. This is not an easy task. It's very painful at times to see what really is. Um, Sometimes it's not at all what we want it to be or what we thought it was. But ultimately, anything that's not living the truth is a dream. It's an illusion. It's not real. So in yoga, we want to inhabit the real, no matter how it is, right? It may not seem good, um, but we make it okay. We survive. We work our way through it. Just like we do in the easy times, we do it in the hard times. And we work to make things more the way we want them to be. Right? But we don't kid ourselves about how they are. We see things for what they are today. Moving now, getting the body back into some movement. If you feel like stretching, that's good. And then make your way up to a seat on your mat. We'll bring hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for coming to yoga today, for making the effort to get onto your mat, even if it was hard. Some days it is very hard. And I hope that you have a really good Friday. And if I don't see you, a great holiday weekend. Namaste. thank you for coming to class. I hope you enjoy your Friday. It is going to be a hot one, I think. So stay cool. Um, my dog is so unhappy because we're walking her in the evening now before her dinner, and that's just messing with her head terribly. So she doesn't know what to do all day long. But you know, things change, right? Get with the program, Daisy. Things have to change, and then they'll change back again when it gets colder. So, or when it gets cooler. So that's fine. Oh, good. I'm glad you had a good class, Deb. That's up to you. Thank you for listening to your body, doing what you need to do, and not just, killing it because you're here. Doing what we need to do. Hey, if we can do it in the yoga room, if we can do that on the mat, you can do that anywhere. Make your life what works for you. Okay. All right. I'll be back tomorrow. I may not. If you're having a day off for the holiday, that's fine. I hardly endorse that. Enjoy yourself and have a good Sunday. And I'll see you next time I see you.